laptop. Sorry, running late. Running late. Let's see, I need this. Need all this. Oh, goodness. Hold on one moment. I don't even have the video open yet. You guys were already on, and I was finishing on getting all of the little write-up stuff for the description in there, and then of course adding the pinned comments and adding the Google spreadsheet and all that. Whew, talk about, like, getting everything done. Hey, Don. Okay, let me wipe this down really quick. Oh, goodness. All right, so let me see here. What do I got? What do I got? Okay, so I have the spreadsheet open, and I see y'all are getting started adding your names to that. Let me do that, and then there's this. I'm on the live chat. No, Yvonne, no, I'm not having problems. This is what happens when you're going to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning because you're finishing up and recording and posting your Thursday, Throwback Thursday video. And then, of course, today getting up and having to work, and it has been a week. And let's just say the work laptop, I'm about ready to throw it. Maybe it's that, maybe it's Windows 11. And I got to turn another light on, so hold on a second. Now that I'm forgetting something. Looks a little dark in here. Yeah, so in between doing stuff, I was, come on, are you shutting off? Yeah, the old phone takes better pictures than the new one. Doesn't make sense, but it does. Okay, so am I missing anything? My water, just in case. Okay. Yeah, so when so I don't know if I mentioned it, but after I got back from my trip to what do you call it? To Oregon. Yeah, Oregon. Early April, I had gotten a new work laptop. The last one I got was 5 years ago, so I was due for an upgraded laptop. So I got it. It had Windows 10 on it still, and they were talking about rolling out Windows 11 on all of the work computers. Well, so when I got mine, let me see. I'm going to get confused here because there's been a bit. I got that one, and what happened with that one? It started after a couple of weeks. It started getting very glitchy, meaning when you went to browsers, like for example, if you went to YouTube, you had like all these lines going every which way. Browsers became unresponsive and they would crash. My Outlook would just crash, and I had to constantly reopen it. And so in the end, they went and sent me yet another laptop. This time the laptop had Windows 11 already on it. Like I said, the new one they gave me in April had 10 on it. So at some point it didn't have the 11 on there yet. So I get the laptop, hook it up, I went and I set up the whole dual monitor thing and got everything on there the way it's supposed to be. And then there was like an update for Windows 11. So I figured, okay, let me do that and then it's all taken care of and it's all good. Well, I did that and it worked great for the rest of the day. But the next day, when I went to go and plug in the laptop, I was not able to use the dual monitors. And for the past, let's see, I put a ticket in to the helpless desk. That's what I call them, is the helpless desk. And, I'm sorry, but, you know, I'm going to talk a little bit ill about the company that I work for. Why you got to be so cheap to outsource your IT department to India? Because first off, the time difference, and two, if you have to talk to them on the phone, oh my gosh, I can't understand half the stuff they say. But anyway, um so then it turned out that after the IT guy was constantly going into my laptop and trying to do this and do that, and oh my gosh, he was updating the firmware, he was doing all these different things and it was not working. So then he said, okay, well, he's going to reach out to Dell. He reaches out to Dell, and then what day was it? Wednesday? uh yeah, Wednesday, they decided to then have a Dell technician come to where I work, and they were going to swap out the motherboard. She showed up after 4 o'clock, and I technically leave at 5. And he asked me for my phone number. When he asked for the address, they had the address. They did not have my name. They did not have my phone. I had my phone open, so I can see it the entire day, waiting for them to show up. And then I went downstairs, went and got her, came up. I didn't leave till 5:30. And you know what? Guess what? Then she tells me that now you need this BitLocker key to from the company to plug in, because you can't exactly boot up your laptop until you put that in, and it's a really long number. And it was insane. So yeah, the next day, it turned out the guy that was originally helping me, he said he was going to be off that day, but he was going to be back the next day. That guy's been off the rest of the whole week. And I had to call the helpless desk. Yeah, that went over well. I had to tell him, please, like, not, well, I don't know about emailing, but whether it's in the ticket or something, put the key in there, because I could not have him read off that key to me, because I literally put that in like 3 to 4 times in order to get in to log in. And guess what happened after I did all that? Hmm. Yeah, you still can't get the dual monitors. It's the laptop screen, and it's just one monitor, and that's only because it's plugged directly into the laptop. So I ended up buying my own cables and a little adapter thing, and we're going to see if that works. If it don't, guess what? I don't care, because I will use the laptop and one monitor, because I will tell you that usually I shouldn't put things like this, but you know what? I am so frustrated. I'm so aggravated that I think it's time to like move on and find something else, because the stress and the aggravation and everything else and driving to another state 3 days of the week, I'm so done with it. So yeah, I'll just deal with it. I don't know if what my little solution, if it's going to work or not. If it doesn't, then that means I got some extra cables for a laptop. So, or I can return it to Amazon, one of the two. But yeah, it's been a week, and of course, by the time I get home, I'm just wiped out. I'm just not motivated to do anything, and that's how it is. So yeah, that's what it's been like. And so, of course, getting everything done for tonight. And I had taken my pictures. I think it was like 5 o'clock. Then I went and took a shower really quick, had the projects done. I had to write up the stuff and take the pictures. Yeah, so that's why I'm a little bit late. So I apologize. The projects, since they're already kind of designed and things are pre-cut and all that, they should be pretty quick. Last Friday, we got done, what was it, like about an hour and a half or so. And so, yes, I watched the graduation on the big screen TV in the living room. And of course, ask Yvonne. I did get teary eyed. How did my little Boo Bear become 18? Well, no, not she's not 18 yet. She'll be 18 on the 26th of this month. Turn 18 and already be graduating. And then I found out that she's doing uh, what is she doing? It's, do I want to say it's some kind of like technical type program or something? She's taking culinary and she's going to be there, I think, for like, is it 2 years? And she's like 3.5 hours, three and a half hours. Um, Let me see, Becky. Uh, yeah, and I can tell you, Becky, your name's there. I can tell you that my daughter she's trying to deal. She's always been with her, so now she leaves to go to this thing on July 8th. So yeah. I mean, I wish I was closer. I'm I'm really, if I'm able to pull it off, I don't know if I will be or not, but I don't know. We'll see what happens when the lease runs out on this apartment. I just know that when the lease runs out at the end of July of next year, that really, I think it's time to even move on from this place. I mean, at first it was great. I love my neighbor that lives right on the other side of this wall. She's the only one, her son, they're the only ones I really communicate with because everyone else, there's just too much drama. So I want peace. I want quiet. I just feel, this is just how I'm feeling right now. So, all right. So now let me take a quick peek what the comments are saying. And again, I apologize for getting on here late because I think about, okay, it's still daylight when I'm going live. However, by the time I'm done, it's going to be dark. So I wanted to get my blinds closed, the curtains closed, and everything set. And no, the alarm is not set because I know Yvonne's on her way here at some point. I don't know. Well, she said Don says hi, so I take that as that she's on her way. Let's see. So I saw Becky and Froggy and Vaughn. Yeah, Terry had texted me asking me if I was going live, and I didn't check exactly what time she did it because I mean, I'm sitting in here and I'm typing up my thing and I heard the phone, it was plugged in the other room charging. So I said, yeah, I'm at 7 and I'm finishing up writing up the stuff to go into the description. So, okay, and Tracy's here and oh, Friday the 13th. It's just another day. I don't go into that whole superstition thing that automatically Friday the 13th is a bad luck day. I got plenty of those any other day. And Friday the 13th tends to not be so bad. I mean, yeah, I'm running late, ran late for this, but you know what? It's not the end of the world, so it's all good. Um, let's see. I read that today. So I'm reading what Froggy said to Tracy. It never occurred to me that today is a superstitious day. My day has been a bit fuller than usual, but I'm prepping for my monthly stamping group meeting tomorrow. You know what? And that's the thing. People get all freaked out. Oh, Friday the 13th, all this bad luck, and it's going to be a bad day. You know what? I can tell you that it's just any day. I didn't have more bad luck on a Friday the 13th than I had like any other day. So, um, you scheduled my husband to have back surgery today. Oh, but you know what? Again, it's just a day. That's all it is. Um, yeah, you don't have to give in to that. Honestly, to be honest with you, I only realized that it's the 13th because I had to do my live. So that was about it. Yeah, so I see the comment from Yvonne, must be having problems. No, it's just me running late. Yeah. And then, of course, the last thing was I had to go grab my laptop from over on the desk there and bring it over here so I could see all the comments and everything. Um, as far as like announcements go, they're pretty much the same as last Friday. So that 50% off sweet sale that's still going on. They still okay. Well, that's good, Tracy, that he's doing good. Okay. All right. So I'm kind of caught up in all of the comments. Let me see. Let's see what I got here. I know that there was nothing new that was posted out there. So has anybody taken advantage of that sweet sale yet? I will tell you that, yeah, I actually stayed up that night so soon as it went into effect. What day did it go into effect? Where's that paper? It started on June 3rd. Yeah, so yeah, at 1 o'clock a.m. I was on there, and what I basically had gotten, so there were a few sweets that I didn't have. Yeah, mine, 5 orders, because two of them. And here's one of the things too that Stampin' Up changed, and then I don't think customers had seen were able to do this, but as demonstrators, when they had the older system, uh, you could actually use multiple payment methods to pay for one order. On this new system, you can only use one. So I did have to break it up. So I did get, what did I get? Um, I did get the Turtly Awesome one. I did not have that one. Of course, I do have the Florals in Bloom because I did do, yeah, I don't know what the whole Strawberry Moon thing is. That, I mean, somebody asked that question to Ryan Hall, and he says I mean, it's not like the moon is, it turns pink or anything. It was just, they were saying that that would be the time that like strawberries were fully ripe or something like that. Um, but the Florals in Bloom, I already did a live on that, so you know that I got that one. Um, the Turtley Cute, I did not have that one, so I ordered that one. The Beautiful Gallery, already had that one. This one, I do not think I have this planned for this month, but it will be next month. This Kintsugi Inspirations, I did get that one. And I will tell you, not long after I did place my order, what is that? The flower accents, embellishments, and that, what is it? The joined together 3D embossing folder went on back order. Uh, I'm trying to think, something will be back in time before the sale is over, but I think the flower accents, I'm not 100% sure. Something's not coming back until July. The boho vibes, that's the one with what do you call it, the rainbow on it. Now, at the time, I think like the day before, the dyes were still on back order, but they were going to come back like a week after the sale started. Turned out when I went to place my order, they were in stock. So I did get that suite. And then there's a suite that's been in the online exclusives for a while, and it was that, see, now I don't remember names of things. It's that floral one, the big one that has it has the mass to it, and it has like the hydrangea, it's all the flowers, and it has that really thin fresh freesia velvet ribbon to it. And uh, where are those embellishments? And these embellishments go with it. Don't remember offhand. It's just another flower one. So I didn't have that one. I got that one. The traveling one. That's the one that has uh, this baker's twine in it. So I did get that one. And then also what went live on June 3rd as well were items, online exclusive items that are going to be out in July for everybody, and demonstrators get to pre-order that stuff right now. So I did pre-order. There's a really pretty one that's all pears. It's almost like the Mediterranean one, the one that had all the oranges, but this one is all about the pears. There was there's a Halloween one that I got, and I think there's, oh yeah, oh yeah, the one that coordinates with this paper pumpkin kit, the Full of Charm. So the Floral Charm Suite, I did get that. Very pretty paper. I pretty much, whatever between pre-order and what's in the catalog and the online exclusives that are suites, I got them. I don't, I kind of put things away, so I don't have them all like stacked up to kind of show, but these are ones that I'm gonna kind of put them in for next month. The Halloween one, I'm gonna wait on that one. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. So that one's, they're not gonna retire that one, before Halloween. So, and that's the only place that I'm pretty sure you will not find any Halloween related stuff in the holiday mini catalog when it does come out. So what you see in the online exclusive is going to be it. As a matter of fact, one of the kits from last year, that haunted house one, that's gonna still be available, I think, at least through November, I think, if I remember right, because remember, it kept on going on back order. So they said that when they got it back, they were just going to keep on, they're going to keep it there at least through Halloween. So I do want to get that. I ordered the kit. I only ordered one, and I actually sent that one to my daughter out in Oregon, and I don't think she's put that thing together yet. So I figured, okay, I'll just go and get another one, for this year. Now, if I'm going to do a video on that one, I don't know yet, because I do know that that's going to be very time consuming to put that together. And since I'm using a hot glue gun, we don't want to go too fast, because I still have the scar right here on my hand from when I burned it when I was making the little Christmas ornaments for all the ladies at church. So yeah, so I did take advantage of that, and I basically my boxes had like 2 suites in it. Uh, what else was there? Oh, and the thing that I didn't realize also, if you order a suite with the suite numbers, they will take, hold on, it disappeared off there. If you order a suite with the suite numbers, will they take 50% off the suites, or the parts of a suite are discounted? Um, well, I if I understand the question right, I know, like, if you put in your order 2 suites and then you put in other items in that order that may be part of a suite. And another thing to be mindful of, because I did not realize this when I did an order. So all these ribbons, remember when I asked if these were still going to be available if they retired them? These are now on the last chance list. So there's a couple of these that are on low inventory. So I had ordered these, and guess what else was on low, was going to be on the last chance? The black and very vanilla large check ribbon. So I really like this ribbon, and I decided to get 2 more rolls of it. Um, This ribbon was part of a suite in the holiday mini catalog 2 years ago. So even the stuff that's in the last chance, that was part of a suite. So I think it's like $5. I think something like that for one, and then the other was like 250. And I think that's with the demonstrator discount, because that's what I was seeing on the actual thing. But if it's on the last chance and it was something that was part of it, that's included too. But the thing is, so if you do, like, say 2 suites, and then you also, like, say you added 2 rolls of this ribbon, what's going to happen? The 50% off is going to be taken off of the ribbon. So it's the lesser amount. So anything, whether it's a full suite or anything that was part of a suite that you put in one order, it's going to take whatever the lowest price is of that, and that's where you're going to get the 50%. So if you really want that 50% off of the actual suite, then that's where, unfortunately, you're doing like a separate order. That's what a lot of other demonstrators said that they were doing, that they literally placed multiple orders if they were doing more than just the full suite and they were getting other products. I don't know if that's exactly what it was that you were asking, Tracy. Um, yeah, yeah, so yeah, if you have 2 suites in there, and then you had added, like, say, designer series paper or embellishments, or anything that is part of another suite, it's going to take the 50% off the lowest priced item. So it's not per se, you got 2 suites. Okay, so I'm going to pay the full price for this one. The lower price will be this. Oh, I got all these other things. So yeah, it's not going to do it that way. It's just going to take the whatever the lowest priced item is that's part of a suite. Now, as you're doing your order, I mean, just really look at it to see how it's calculating it, because you'll see, like, if it takes the 50% off, it's going to have it crossed out, and then it'll have that amount, I think, in pink, or is it red, one of the two. So yeah, you just gotta really think about, as you're putting the order together. Again, that's why, I mean, one of the reasons why I ended up also doing multiple orders. Now, I did it more or less because I wanted to split it up. I wanted to use multiple different, payment methods to pay for it. But yeah, if you strictly just do full suites, then yes, your two like say if you had 4 suites in there, yeah, your two higher priced ones you would pay, and the other two would be 50% off. It's just when you start adding those other items that may have been part of a suite. Like I said, that black and very vanilla checkered ribbon, I totally forgot that that was part of a suite. So if it's something that's on the last chance, yeah, you'll see it where it says offer by. When it says offer, that's the item that's being that the 50% is coming off on. That's how I had noticed that. Yeah, the demonstrator support probably got a whole lot of phone calls regarding that. I have actually been on the phone with them a couple of times. There's an order that had mostly retired embellishments on it, and I placed that order around, I want to say April 22nd, 23rd, 24th, something like that. Yeah, I still haven't gotten it. Well, maybe I have it because they mailed it out, Mail Innovations, and that was the time that I had done the change of address from here to the post office box. And of course, I didn't know how it was going to ship. I didn't know it was going to go Mail Innovations. Again, if it was UPS actually doing the delivering of it, I would be able to reroute them from delivering it here and delivering it to the UPS store that's right up the street from me. And that's what I have been doing with all of my orders that I get from them. But the third time, yeah, the third time, they have sent it out. This time they had sent it out UPS next day air. The address was the special delivery address from the post office. It does say that it was delivered. It says who it was at the post office that had accepted it. So I'm hoping tomorrow when I go up there and I have a little yellow card in my PO in my box so I can pick it up. And I told Stampin' Up when I do get it, I'm going to call them to tell them I finally did get it, because this is the third time they had to ship it out. And luckily, some of those things that were already gone, evidently they still have some in their warehouse for situations like this. So like those paper butterflies, for example, those are gone. If you try looking them up in the online store, they don't come up. They're gone. But they had them, so they can send it to me. So I will let you know when next Friday. So hopefully, and again, I know if you don't want it to go Mail Innovations, at least have something like 12, like a pack of 12 by 12 paper or something in there. That means it'll go in a box rather than like their bubble packaging. So something to keep in mind. Okay, so I've been going on a little too long here. So let me go and flip this again. As far as like the housekeeping stuff there, it's the same as last week. So let me flip this and get everything lined up. Bring this down a little bit, make sure we're straight. And we're so not straight. Let me see. Okay, Becky, I can do that. Does anybody else need it? The last one that I had sent out would have been when I corrected Becky's birthday. Does anybody else need it, or is it just Becky that needs that birthday list again? If anyone else needs it, I mean, I could send it to everybody if everybody wants it. Wait, what? Deborah, well, hold on. I sent you a cross Easter card and got it back as undeliverable, and the envelope was cut open. Was surprised the card was still in it, and it was mailed to the post office box too. Deborah, are you talking about a card that you sent to me, and it was sent back? I Guys, I'll tell you again. The postal service. I'm so aggravated with them. I mean, they keep going up on all of their rates on stuff, and then their service just gets worse. And it is very frustrating and annoying. And I mean, Tracy, did you get the card that you sent here to give to Terry? Did you get that back, or is that probably lost like in post office? Sucks. Just saying. Okay, so again, last chance products, still got more of those. In June, they added more stuff to it. And that was the other thing too. I had to look to see what things they added on here. And that's where I saw that ribbon was on there. Some of the things that were discounted, some of those items they discounted even more. So go ahead and check it out. And again, some of the items um, that just seemed like they just came out are already on the list. I will say that my video for yesterday, I did the bistro burger, and while I did the video, I did look on the website, and that bundle is on the last chance. And both the stamp set and the set of dies, they are discounted. So if that was a bundle you wanted, and guess who's here? I just heard the chime of the door. Um, so if that was a bundle that you wanted, um, purchase them individually rather than the bundle, because you're going to save, I think it was like about $20. And one of uh, uh, she may be on here. She may watch the replay. But there's somebody that she always watches my Throwback Thursdays, and as a matter of fact, she's because of her, three of the Throwback Thursdays are of products that she recommended. And I already did one of them, and that was with the coffee with friends. And so there's two more that are coming for the rest of this month. But yeah, she after watching the video, she purchased that bundle, of course, individually, because you save some money on it. Okay. Yes, the pears. Yes, that ribbon is very pretty. The embellishments are pretty. Yeah, the whole thing's pretty. And again, the sweets and the sweet products, 50% off. And if anybody, has any questions and you're still confused, send me an email. I'll do the best that I can to explain it. I'm the type that I'll explain things where it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I may add more, there may be paragraphs, but I try to explain things where you're going to understand it. So that's still going on. That goes on until the end of this month. There's the coordinating Hugs of Bloom dies that go with the April, May, and June kit. They have now come out with the set of dies that are going to go with July, August, and September. That paper pumpkin subscription period has now closed. It closed on the 10th. And so I noticed that that's not coming Mail Innovations. It's coming, what is it? I think, was it UPS SurePost, I think. I noticed that when I got the notification that it shipped today. So the dies, I forgot to add them to an order. So it's going to take a little bit before I get them because I've been ordering too much, honestly, and I got to like chill out. So but yeah, you need to be a subscriber to get these. I'm pretty sure that these are still in the online store under the paper pumpkin, the refills and add-ons and such. And yeah, they're $12. And then I haven't seen anything that said that they have sold out. But this virtual album retreat that Stampin' Up is doing July 16th, 17th, and 18th. It goes from 2 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. That's Mountain Time. Now, there's no registration for this event. When you purchase the month by month album retreat kit, that's your registration basically. So the price of the kit is, oh, I just heard thunder. I'm hearing thunder. Ooh. So the price of the kit here in the US is $250. You do make like 24 pages, so your 2-page layouts for each of the months. You get all the paper, the pre-cut cardstock. There's actually four photopolymer sheets of stamps. And what else is in there? There's a whole bunch of stuff that's in there. You even get the page protectors. Now, the only thing that's not included in this is the album itself. So if you're someone who is into scrapbooking, this is still going on. I unfortunately am not really, I mean, I can do scrapbooking, but it's just not I mean, when you don't really have the pictures to put in it, yeah, I really never got into doing I did do a scrapbook, but I don't have it anymore, which I'm kind of bummed. When I lived up in Ohio, and Deborah would know what I'm talking about, and I think Tracy may know too. Um, Up in Ashtabula County, that kind of borders with Pennsylvania, they have the covered bridges, and I love the covered bridges. And I literally went out there and I drove around, did the self tour, got out of the car and took pictures. And I did that during the fall time. So it was a really nice album, but unfortunately, I don't have the album anymore. And then I made mention about, so the Full of Charm, the subscription period of this is over with now. What's the new one? I can't think offhand what the new one is. I do have to print them out, but that subscription period is going to go until July 10th. Now, because they had their day of service, uh, these kits, I think, started going out today. I think so. I haven't gotten it yet, so I'll probably have it next week. And when I get it, I will have that pre-recorded video for you where I do one of each of the projects in there. Okay, so now to kind of like, stop running my soup cooler and let's get started. So like I said, these cards, they should go together pretty quickly because again, I already got them designed. Everything's kind of pre-cut. Now, the stamp set, it is a photopolymer stamp set. So what's nice about it, I can stamp these images and stuff. Well, I can die cut the pieces and then I can stamp because I can be able to see through it. Now, this has been around for a bit. I'm trying to think whether this is listed under the online exclusives or if it's actually in the catalog. You know, I can't keep track because there's oh, Deborah, the code for it? Yeah. Um okay, wait a minute. The add-on, the Hugs of Bloom, is that the one you're talking about, or are you talking about the new one? That's gonna be for July, August, and September. I think the next kit actually's got strawberries in it. Oh, the new one? Hold on. Um, you know here in a second. Products. No. Paper pumpkin. Okay. So the new dies are called Circle of Seasons, and the item number on that is 167277. Yeah, hold on. I can do this. Do this. I'll tell you what, whoever invented the copy and paste feature is just they're a genius. Just saying. I love that little feature. So I put the item number in there for you, Deborah. Okay, so this has been around for a while. I'm kind of glad that they did carry it over. Now, I have had this for a while, and sadly, this is the first time that I actually put ink to it. And that's pretty sad. That's the nature of like most of the products that I got, is that I hadn't even used them yet. So with that, okay, this was something that they offered during Celebration a couple of years ago. And this is the Trusty Toolbox Designer Series paper. So I did use this, I believe, on I actually used some of this on all of the cards. So, I mean, this too, I hadn't even opened up this and used it. So, I mean, in this pack, what is it? Basic black copper clay, which is now a retired color. Crushed curry, gray granite, lost lagoon, and poppy parade are in this. And then, in addition to that, this is the brushed silver and gold foil specialty paper. You get a total of 6 sheets in here, so you get both silver and gold. Now, I have, I think, 2 packs in this one. This is on the last chance. I believe the price of it is marked down to $5. So the sheets do have like this texture on it. And this is the gold, and the silver, I'm actually going to use that on 1 or 2 of the cards that I am doing tonight. Okay, so let's move it and get going, because like usual, we haven't had dinner yet, and we don't typically have dinner until I'm done with my live. So we'll get this done and we'll do our wheel of names, and basically everybody that I see here, you know the routine. And if you have any issues, you know, when you click on that link to add your name to the spreadsheet, just say something, and we have what do you call it? We have someone that can add the name for you. Okay, so let me do this as well, since I didn't get my nice pretty PDF done. I think it was Sunday I did get the PDF done for the Pop and Buy bundle that I did last Friday. And either tomorrow or Sunday, I will have the PDF done for these projects, and it'll be uploaded to the Google Drive. And the link to that is at the bottom, the last paragraph just above the list of supplies. So right now I'm looking at the stuff that I copy and paste into the description. So for my card base for this one, this is Poppy Parade. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of that Trusty Toolbox Designer Series paper. This is 5.25 by 4. This is like reminiscent of last Friday, where we did a lot of the red and the yellow, but these are different reds and yellows. I have a piece of basic black. This measures 4.25 by 3.25. Out of a scrap piece of basic white. This is the more, whoops, keep hitting things. The more messages dies. So I took some cardstock and I actually die cut 2 times to get all these different tags. So these labels, yeah, so that's what that is from. So got that. And then from that designer series paper, this I cut one piece that measures 3 7/8 by 3 inches, and then I cut them, and I didn't put it down. Hold on, I did not write it down on the thing, but I will. So these are then cut into 1.25 inch strips, and when you cut it, you want to kind of keep them in order because this is the order that they will be glued down onto this piece of basic black. So I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. Okay, and then my designer series paper. Okay, we'll place this on here. I mean, all the cards are fairly simple, but this is the simplest of the 3. What I like to do when I design the cards, I start with the simplest, and that'll be card 1, and then I work my way up to where the last card is the one that has a little bit more detail in it. Okay, so I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of these strips. And what I do is I like to start from the outer end, so like the left and the right side, and place that right there. And then this is our end piece here. Ooh, it's raining pretty good. Was it raining when you got here, Yvonne, or did it was it raining when you were on your way? It sounds like it's coming down pretty good. And then what I do is I do those 2 outer edges pieces first, and then I'll come in with the center one, and then that way we have an equal distance between these 2 strips. Oh, okay, cool. That's what happened yesterday. When I left work, there were a couple of stops I needed to make, and there were really dark clouds out there. And I think I got home probably around 6:30, and by the time I hit 7, yeah, the sky was really dark and that rain was really coming down. Sounds like it's really coming down now. But I'm not hearing no thunder, so yeah, I think it's a little windy out there too. Okay, so I'm going to center this down on here. And then I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And then, let's see, where's my stamp set? So for this one, we're going to do thank you. So in this set, you have thank you, you're the most awesome, dad, and happy Father's Day. So happy Father's, well, we probably don't have any dads on here with us, but if any happen to come and happen to watch this video after the fact, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Oh, wow, you can hear it through the phone? Yeah, then that means that rain is coming from the west, because it typically, when we get like storms and all that, the direction of the wind is always either south and west, and that's, so the window over here that faces the west, and then all my windows on that side of the apartment face the south. So at least my windows are getting clean, I guess, right? Well, wait a minute. I think I spoke too soon. I just heard the thunder. So that's also a sign that, yeah, you'll get the video done before, lights decide they want to blink and the internet goes out, and, we don't want that. Okay, so there's my label. And we're going to ink up our thank you. And this just fits. On that label. This is what I like about the photopolymer stamps, that you can see exactly where you're stamping. Okay. And then for this, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals, and actually I'm going to use some of these edge pieces. I have a lot of sheets here that have the edge pieces on them. So let's use those up before I start, going into another sheet. Okay, and then we're going to place this right here like so. And then for embellishments, now there's not going to be any Wink of Stella on any of these projects, because again, these cards are geared more as a masculine and for, well, Father's Day, or, a general thank you. So we're not going to go with, I mean, the sequins are a little, shiny, but yeah, we're not going to add any Wink of Stella. So for this one, now you don't really see it in any of these patterns here, but there is, now I'll show you the sample. So this is the sample one I did. This color here is that copper clay, and of course the copper clay has now retired. It was part of those in colors that just went, those same ones that had boho blue and wild wheat in it. And so there are the copper ones, but when I look at that color, these brown ones were closer to it. And by the way, these are also on the last chance list as well. They may be marked down. I don't know offhand, but yeah, I did notice that these were on there, and I did get some more of these, because what's nice about these sequins is that they don't have the holes in them. It's probably not focusing. That's what I like about these. All right, so I'm going to add a few of these. You got large ones, you got small ones. And so I typically go with one of the larger ones and then two of the smaller ones. Okay, so easy peasy for our first card. And there we go. A simple masculine thank you card. All right. Next one. So this one now is stepped up a little bit. Well, yeah, it stepped up a whole lot more compared to that first one. And of course we got Lost Lagoon. So Lost Lagoon's a nice aqua color. I really like this color. So for my card base, Lost Lagoon, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of gray granite that measures 5.25 by 4. And ahead of time, I did emboss it. I used the Soft Waves 3D embossing folder. This was part of that Ocean Friends suite that has retired, but I think the embossing folder has been carried over. So yeah, that was a suite that I kind of got late, late to where I got everything part of that suite, but except for those embellishments, to start sparkle gems or whatever they were called. I didn't get to get those because I guess as they got closer to the end of the catalog, once they were sold out, then yeah, they didn't get any more of those back. So those retired pretty early. So again, that's 5.25 by 4 and then embossed with that embossing folder. For the inside, a piece of basic white, 5.25 by 4. And then for the front of my card, this basic white measures 4.25 by 3. And then I have a piece of this designer series paper from that Trusty Toolbox designer series paper, and this measures 4 by 2. And then out of a scrap piece of basic white, I had stamped the hammer, the wrench, and the paintbrush in the Memento Tuxedo black ink, and then I had die cut them. Now, there are some filler pieces in the stamp set to where you can add the color, and I'm going to do that since this is a photopolymer set, so I can see exactly where I'm stamping. So hopefully I can do that pretty easy, because when I did the sample card, I did that before I die cut that the pieces out. Okay, fold and burnish that. And then on this piece here, I'm going to add my designer series paper. Now, when I cut this out, again, at 5.25 by 4, when you run it through that embossing folder, what it did was it shrunk this just a little tiny bit, because the paper it kind of falls a little bit short there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my mini guillotine paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim off just a teeny tiny bit of that, so then that way that paper will go all the way across. The same thing happens too when you use that mini corrugated embossing folder. I really like that one. Okay, so let's add some adhesive, and let's try not getting any on the grid paper, because we don't want everything sticking to it. Okay. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to line this up on the bottom here. So now you see that it does line up a lot better. Or as Yvonne would say, mo better. And I'm waiting for the laugh. I'm waiting. 1, 2, 3. I don't hear her. Yep. Yep, there was. She wasn't as loud as she was when Terry was here, but yep, I heard her laugh. Okay, so then I'm going to take this and add this to my card base. Make sure we got it the right way. Put that right there. Okay, we'll set that aside. Then on the inside of our card, let's see, did I do anything for the inside? Yes, I did do something for the inside of this. All right, let me get a piece of scrap paper. Let's see if I can find somewhat of a clean piece. Okay, and in this set there are this cluster of the screws and the nuts, and let's pull those out. And then we're going to also need this greeting that says, "You're the most awesome." Okay, let's get some blocks. Let's see, this is too small for that. I think the rain stopped now. I don't hear it anymore. Okay, so then, let's see, on this smaller piece here, let's bring in the Lost Lagoon ink again. Now ink up this. And then we'll stamp this. I might kind of center this at the bottom, like so. And then we'll set that aside. And then on this piece here, these little nuts and the bolts and the nuts, I'm going to stamp these across the bottom. The birds sound happy. Hear them chirping out there. Hi, Rosie. Welcome. Okay, so we're just going to go across the bottom with that. Okay, we'll set that aside. Now on these pieces here, we're going to need this again. So there are these filler pieces here for our tools. So we'll pull those out. And then our paintbrush, it has the handle part, and then there's this piece here that's for the paint on the top of those bristles. All right, so let's get some blocks here. Okay, so for my wrench, I'm going to bring in the Poppy Parade ink. And let's see how well I can stamp this since I have die cut it. So I'm going to have to stand right over it. Not bad. I am a professional. All right, and then this one here, we're going to use the Lost Lagoon, and this is going to be for our hammer. Now, they don't have the filler pieces for, you know, like the top part of the wrench and the hammer. So for those, I am going to use my light and dark gray Granite Stampin' Blends to color that part in. Okay, up on the tippy toes again. There we go. And then we got our paint. So we're going to leave that open because the paint that's going to be on our bristles is going to be what do you call it? The Moss Lagoon. So let me see something. What did I do? I'm trying to think what I did on this one. So this, on the paintbrush, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take my light gray granite Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to color these bristles. And then I'll add that Lost Lagoon ink on top of that. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to let that dry first. I'm going to bring in crushed curry. And I'm basically just working off the colors that are in the designer series paper. Okay, where is the brush? Okay. This crushed curry is very inky. You can see that it's kind of like bubbled up a little bit. And I had pressed this ink in earlier, so I got to do it again. And let me clean this really quick because we don't want any of this ink. Yes, thank you for joining us, Rosie. Welcome. Okay. So now let's try this again. Much better, or mo better, as Yvonne would say. Again, let me get on my tippy toes here. Oh, don't shift. You like when I say that, don't you? Okay. Then, where is, okay, so this is the paint that's going to go on top of these bristles. So you have the one side that it's not all curved, so that's going to be the top. And we'll get some Lost Lagoon and get on our tippy toes and stamp right over that, like so. Okay, so let's close these all up. We're done with the stamping part. And then now I'm going to bring in, again, this is the light and the dark gray granite Stampin' Blends. I am going to, let's see, I'm going to start with the dark. And they've already added these shadow lines on here. So I'm just going to go over those. And then this inner part of the wrench, that'll be dark. And then on the hammer, so in this set of dies, they have dies too that you can do some paper piecing with. And that's what we're going to do on our final card. Okay. Now, one of the things that I also do when I color with the blends, there's different ways that you can do this. If you really want the ink, you know, the light and the dark to blend very well together, the best way to do it is by doing it while the ink is still wet. If you let it dry, then like what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it dry some before I come in with the light and go over this. So then that way I can still see those areas that I added the dark instead of adding the light over it. Kind of blends it all out. And then I'd have to come back in with that dark again. So I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm going to take my dimensionals. I'll add some on this paintbrush since we got this done. me turn this. Like so. And we'll set that aside. And then we'll come back to that. I'll take this piece and put it on the inside of my card. Okay. All right. And then this piece too, I'll take this and I'll put this in the center on the front of my card. And when it helps, you got that row of those screws on here, so that helps you line it up straight. Okay, so we'll set that aside now, and we'll bring this back in, and this is my light, and I'll come in and just fill this in. Now I may have to come back with the dark because I don't know if you're going to really see it or not. Okay, and then our hammer. Tell you what, last night when I was filming that the bistro burger, I tell you what, I was in the mood for a burger, a good cheeseburger. I also made a point that you don't put mustard on a cheeseburger, where being from New York, they never did that. And of course, when you go to different states, some states they do that, so I always have to remember to say don't put no mustard on it, because I'm sorry, mustard to me, and I'll be honest with you, that bright yellow mustard, I really don't like that mustard. I like mustard, I just don't like that one. So I'm going to add. Now I think mayo goes really good on a cheeseburger. Just saying. I think I hear frogs outside my window. I guess the frogs are happy too that there was rain. This is kind of like the first time I kind of heard them. I've been here, I think this is my second year here, and I never heard them until this year. Okay, so now we're going to add some dimensionals to the backs of these. Let's see, can we get this to fit right there? So an empty sheet. That's one down. There's a few back here. There's another one. Let's see. This bit on here. Just okay. And then let's get more for our hammer here. Yuck. It on a press. Ew, ew. Okay, Vaughn, I told you, if you ever want that mustard, you're going to have to buy it and you put it in my fridge. It's going to have to be a small bottle because, yeah, when a friend was over. They like that yellow mustard, and you know they live in another state, so of course it got bought. But then after they left, yeah, it just sat in the refrigerator, and then at some point it got thrown away because yeah, it had been in there for a long time. Okay, so now let's assemble the rest of our card here. So I'm going to start off with the hammer. This is going to go in the middle. So again, by putting this down first, then I can take these two pieces and kind of evenly put them on either side of it. So in this case, it's a little bit easier to do the middle one first. Okay, so we're going to make sure our card is straight. And we'll put down our hammer. And then our paintbrush is going to go over on this side. Ugh. Well, like I said, I think mayonnaise on a cheeseburger is good. Definitely no mustard. Okay, and then we'll take our wrench and we'll put that over there like so. And then our final part to this, we're going to add some embellishment. So this embellishment, this is the adhesive back texture dot. So this was part of, I think, was it something wildflower sweet? Now these, I mean, they got this nice texture on them. So in the new catalog, there's that beautiful gallery suite, and let me show you those. So I don't know if any of you guys have it or not, but these embellishments here are somewhat similar to them, but there is a big difference. If you use these on a card to mail out, there is some weight to this. So they look, let me take this out of the packaging because I am going to need it. So they're somewhat similar in a way. This one's come off. But yeah, these are lower and they're much lighter, and these are pretty heavy. So again, if you're going to mail a card out with these, they're probably going to need extra postage on your card. Okay. I'm looking forward to you know, using that beautiful gallery suite, all those patterns in the paper, you know, that vintage look to them. I really like those. I really like that. Okay, so then I'm going to take these larger ones and I'm going to put them on either corner. Now, the other option that I was thinking about as far as embellishments went, and let me see, do I have them right here? Yeah, these were part of that, what was it, that suite with the airplanes, the vintage airplanes. And these are the industrial trinkets. So this was another thought that I would put these in the corners, but of course these things are also a little more bulkier. And since at the end, so Rosie, I don't know if you were here when I made mention of it. On my Friday Night Lives, at the very end, I do a wheel of names. I do a drawing for one of the cards that I had made tonight. Up at, what do I want? Pinned to the top of the comment box. There is a link to a Google spreadsheet. If you're not able to add your name to it, just make mention of it and someone can add your name. And then at the end, I do, like I said, a wheel of names, and you get to choose. If your name comes up, you get to choose one of the 3 cards, and then I mail them out. Now, it doesn't matter, if you're outside of the United States, cards I can definitely mail out. It's just the actual Stampin' Up! Product that I can't. So, but there is our second card. So we use the actual stamp to stamp the filler part on our images, and then just use that stamp and blend because there isn't a stamp that's for those pieces. But there is the second card. Okay, so the last card that I got. Let me first clean off these stamps because we're gonna need at least a block out of this. And of course we don't want, and I apologize for the shaking. The camera stand is connected to this table. The way it's designed, I can't exactly attach it to the table that's right up against it. So if I can figure out a way how to mount this stand to where it's not on this table, then we shouldn't have any more of the shaking. Okay, cool. Yeah, there was a sample card that I saw that she did use the cork on the corners of this. But the truth, what was that? What were those cork embellishments part of? Was that the nature sweetness or something? Because I don't think I got those. I think weren't those an embellishment that kept on going on back order, and then eventually you couldn't get them anymore. Because I don't think I have those. Yeah, this I kind of surprised myself a little bit, when sometimes with these bundles, it's like I was like, okay, now I got this bundle, so what am I gonna do with it? And I do go out on Pinterest to look for ideas, and I will tell you that since this bundle's been out for a while, there are definitely plenty of samples out there that are using it. And what I do is I do case the card to where it's copy and share everything, but it can also mean copy and selectively edit. And that's pretty much what I do. I may change up like the color combination, or maybe there's an embellishment I'll change, or I change it up in that way. So and of course, there's always the catalogs there, an idea book as well. So for this one, I'm going to do the Happy Father's Day stamp. And let me put that on a block and then get all of these out of the way. Okay, so let me put that aside. And let me bring in all the pieces. Now, again, in the set of dies, there are a lot of pieces here that you can do some paper piecing to build your pieces. And so, again, I did that ahead of time. And so some of them we're actually going to trim a little bit to then put them all together. So there's some little itty bitty pieces here. Okay, so let me kind of slide this all over. Okay, so my card base is Crumb Cake, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This piece of crumb cake measures 5 3/4 by 3 3/4. And for this piece, there is a die that will do the pegboard, so it's not the full size of it. So I put this down, ran it through, and then I put it over here. That's why these two rows here are a little bit closer. I tried to get where it was all evenly evenly spaced, but that's okay because we're putting stuff over this. Plus this is getting it here down to our crumb cake, so it's not really all that noticeable. Now I will tell you that all those little bits get stuck in here, so of course when you run it through twice, you got to clean this all out, and then you got to get all those little bits out of there, you know, before you can use that die again. So I've already done that ahead of time. Then I have a piece of basic black. This measures 5 1/2 by 1/2. And then I have a piece of crumb cake. This measures 2 3/4 by 1/2. And then out of some scraps here, I die cut some of my pieces. So for my hand drill, we have that piece there in Poppy Parade. And then I have die cut it again in the basic black. And then the part for the drill, basic black. And then this is the silver foil. So there's the drill bit. So you can see it's got that that texture on it. So we'll put those pieces together, create our drill. Then for the hammer, the Poppy Parade to die cut the whole hammer. And then there's a die that'll do the top part. And so that's out of that silver foil. Then we have our tape measure. That's out of the silver foil. And then you got some detail pieces. So this Poppy Parade piece will be that button that kind of locks your tape. And then out of crushed curry, this is part of that tape right there. So we'll put that on there. And then the Poppy Parade, this will be right here in the center of our tape measure. Then we have our wrench out of the silver foil. And then there's one die that will do the nuts and the bolts. And that's out of the silver foil as well. So lots of little itty bitty pieces here. So let me hold and burnish this, and we'll put that pegboard on here. Okay, so now with this, so you don't want to use a whole lot of glue on this because you don't want it oozing out of all of those holes. So I'm going to try and do this because if I put the glue around the edge and then I go to put it in the middle here, then what happens around the edge, it starts to dry. So I'm going to start. Now this is the Tombow multi-purpose glue, and I put it in these fine tip glue bottles. The Tombow glue has a latex in it, so you don't need much of it at all for your paper to really stick well. And I do have a link at the bottom in the description. I did get these off of Amazon. I think you get like a pack of 10 of them. And I just refill this bottle whenever it starts to get low. All right, and then, you know, instead of doing the very edge, I think I'm just going to do, whoops, don't put your finger in the glue. I'm going to put it along just inside of it because that edge is very, it's very small. And of course, when I did this on the sample, I ended up with glue on my fingers. Okay, and then Let's bring in our card base. Oops. We'll kind of center this like so. And a little bit of glue did ooze out of that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my big block here and I'm going to put that, actually, hold on. Don't mind my arm. I have that great big F block that's sized for the background stamps. So I'm going to place that on there just so that way it can hold it down and that can dry and it can stick. Okay, so now let's build up some of these pieces here. Actually, what I'm going to do, let me stamp this first. So this crumb cake piece here is going to be our greeting. So this is going to be Happy Father's Day. And I'm going to do that in the Memento Tuxedo black ink. Now, a little tip. This is not something I came up with. This is when you get the white craft ink, you get an uninked foam ink pad and a re-inker. And so I took the Memento refill and I inked up the foam pad. Now the difference, Memento never really gave you that really deep, dark image, you know, like when it came to greetings or anything. So a lot of times if you use the Stays-On ink, you got that really dark, crisp black. But when you're using the Stays-On ink on your photopolymers, the thing is you cannot use the Stays-On cleaner on it because basically it'll just smear that ink and then you won't be able to see through your stamp anymore. Ask me how I know that. But I've never tried this, but I did notice on Facebook on one of the group pages that I'm part of, somebody had asked the question, how do you get Stays-On ink off of a photopolymer stamp? And then basically before I even saw the comment that was in response to that, I said, well, you're not. It's going to be there. But this person said that the Dawn Power Wash, if you use that, it'll actually take some of that off. Now, she said that it won't take it all off, but it still be stained a little bit, but I don't know if I actually want to try that or not. Has anybody else ever tried that? Because I know that I had, what is it? The stamp set's called Reason for the Season, and it was the one with the poinsettias in them. And I did that. I used the Stays-On, and then I used the Stays-On cleaner on it. Yeah, that didn't go very well because the whole entire photopolymer stamp was stained. Okay, is this going to stamp well? No, it's kind of faded. The bottom of it was faded. But I have found that when you add the ink to the foam pad, that it stamps so much better than the way it comes in the felt pad. But there we go. So we'll set that aside. And we'll close this up. This is the only stamping that we're doing on this card. Okay, so let's move this out of the way. We have our silicone craft sheet. So now let's assemble all of our tools. So for the hammer, we're going to take the hammer part, the metal. We'll add some liquid glue. I'm using the liquid glue on this because it'll give me that wiggle room to kind of just put this in place. And this will fit just right on top of that. Slide that over just a tiny bit. Oops, too much. Okay, so there is our hammer. And on the back of this, well, we'll add all our dimensionals afterwards. Okay, so then our wrench, we're not going to do anything with that. We're going to leave that just as it is, along with our screws and our nuts, our screw and nuts. Okay, and then for our tape measure, so the crushed curry piece, oops, there's the thunder again. This will line up right there. Now you don't want to go crazy with the glue because these little slits here, the glue will ooze in between those slits there. So okay, and then there's this little tiny piece that's that locking button. So for this, I'm going to add just a little bit of glue right there. And then I'm going to take my take your pick tool. I'm going to pick that up and then place that right where it goes. Just want to slide all over the place. Okay, so we'll just press that down a little bit. Let's see one. Yeah, yeah, a lot of, I've also noticed with these storms that, they'll say, oh, well, Memphis is going to get hit. Yeah, and then next thing you know, it kind of splits off, and then you'll get bad stuff like south of us in Mississippi, and then you'll get severe stuff just north of us. And then it goes towards like Nashville, and yeah, storms that blow through there are pretty bad. Now I've driven through storms in Louisville, and I've done it more than once, and my goodness, it's like the whole skylights opens up, and those lightning bolts and everything. Yeah, that's not fun driving through all that. Okay, so there is a really cute tape measure. Okay, and then for our drill here, we're going to get our scissors, and so the drill bit part, I'm going to cut that off like so. And then let me get my glue. We're going to add a little bit here, a little bit here. Am I still in the camera? Can you guys see this okay? Do you want me to make it a little bit closer? Okay, and then we'll take this and place that right over the top of that. Okay, I can actually, hold on, let me close this and let me make my screen bigger. We're on our last card, so I don't need to see what the dimensions are now. Okay, so there's the drill part to our hand drill. And so on this, we're going to keep the red one as is. I'm going to bring in my snips. Now, they do have these little slit marks in here. So for the base, I'm going to basically separate that. so. And then we'll add some glue down here. And trim that a little bit. Okay, and then we'll place this right over on top. Hi, Carol. Oh, wow. I bet, well, yeah, yeah, planning all that stuff can be stressful. Okay, then on this piece here, we're not going to use this whole thing, so I am going to, so you see it's kind of got this curved cut line, so I'm going to take this just straight up and I'm going to just, yeah, just cut it like so. So we're going to separate this, and then we're going to come over here, and then we'll separate it like that. Okay, now this little center part here, we're going to separate that as well. So I'm going to bring in the magnetic cutting plate that goes to my my Empress machine. And I'm going to bring in, so one of the tips that you can get for your take your pick tool, there's an X-Acto knife. And so there's just these little tiny tabs that kind of connect this. So I'm going to cut those just to kind of get this, to remove that center piece. Okay, let's see, did we get it? Not fully. This is the part we want to be very careful, because, you know, we don't want to be, you know, spewing any blood while I'm on a live. That wouldn't be good. Okay, so we'll remove that. So now that's open. And let's get the cap back on. Back on that. All right, and then we're going to bring in, let's get this out of the way. We don't need this anymore. And then I'm going to add some glue on here. Okay, and then this piece will go right on top. Okay, and then our drill part here, we're going to add a little bit of glue right here. And then we'll take the rest of our drill and go right on top of that. And I'll press that and hold it for a little bit. Okay, and we'll need the glue for our screw and our nuts to put those down on our card. Okay, so there is our hand drill. Okay, let's get this out of the way, and let's bring in our card now. So on here, this strip of basic black, I'm going to glue that down to the very bottom of my card here. So let me get the glue. Now I did cut this just a teeny tiny bit longer, just so that way I knew that the piece would be long enough, and then I'll be trimming that excess off. And then this will just line up right on the bottom of our card like so. Okay, and then I'll bring in that little paper trimmer again. Up a little bit. Okay. And then what I do is I like to bring the arm down a little bit, and then I'll take the edge of the card, line it right up against that, and then trim. So now it's even with the card base. Okay, so we're going to bring in some dimensionals. And let's see, we got our mini ones, we got our edge pieces, we got these. Oh, that's really stuck down. Okay, let me cut some more. Okay, and then we're going to take this drill . Okay, and then we're going to place that right over here, like so. And then our measuring tape. Let's see, can I fit this? I don't know if I'll be able to fit this on here or not. Okay, so we got that. Get back up into the screen here. And then we'll put measuring tape right there. And then we got our hammer. How long of a piece do I need? Yeah, Carol, this is the first time. I've had this for a while, and this is the first time that well, making the samples anyway, is the first time that I'm actually using this. Pretty sad. See, what happens a lot of times when the catalog's about to retire and they let you know, okay, what's going to be retiring, I start going, well, now this is what I did in the past. You know, when we just had a catalog, we didn't have this whole online exclusive thing. And I would then determine, okay, so what is it that I didn't get that's going to be retiring? And so I'll make this list, and then depending on the size of that list will determine whether or not, you know, I end up getting it. But what happens, I'll end up ordering this stuff, and then of course now it's retired. And so it kind of gets put away, you know, everything's alphabetized as far as the stamp sets go. And yeah, and then you kind of forget about it because now there's all this other stuff that comes out. So yeah, I mean, this is why, you know, doing those Throwback Thursdays are really good, because there's that opportunity to pull it out and to use it. Okay, so this, let's see. That's what these edge pieces are good for doing, for putting it on strips like this. Okay, and then our Happy Father's Day is going to go right, let's see, right over here, like so. And then for our little pieces here, okay, I'm going to bring in my reverse locking tweezers. These are part of that the embossing, what is it? The embossing additions kit, is that what it's called? Yeah, embossing additions toolkit. And these are nice. This part's metal, so there's, you know, there's some weight to it, and I like these. Okay, so now I'm just going to add a little tiny bit. And we'll add that right here. Kind of move all this stuff out of the way. Don't mind my arm. Okay. Yeah, things start to pile up very quickly on this desk. And I don't know about you, but it's hard for me to work when there's, like, you know, too much clutter. Some can do a very good job of creating and have the mess. Yeah, I'm not one of them. So I'll add that there. And then we got one more. So on this one, I don't have any embellishments on this one. There's a lot going on this anyway. So I think with that silver foil. Okay, and then we'll add that right there. And kind of tidying up as I go here. So, okay, a little too much glue. All right, so there is our third card. I really like the texture that's on that silver foil. And again, that gold, that brushed gold and silver foil, it is on the last chance list. I believe it was marked down to $5, and you do get six sheets in it, 3 each. And that package that I had, that's actually 2 packages that I put into one. Okay, so now let me bring in, whoops, bring in the other 2 cards that we have done. So our first one was just very simple. Let the designer series paper do all the work on our cards. So this is a simple thank you card, and I noticed that my thank you is a little crooked, and I should leave it alone. Let's just leave that alone because we're going to tear it and we don't want to do that. So there's our first card. And then our second one, we did some stamp, well, ahead of time I did some stamping of the tools, die cut them, and then I did a combination of using the filler stamps to stamp the color on them, and then use that gray granite stamp and blend to then color in these other parts that there was no stamp for. So there's our second card. And then our third one, we did a whole lot of paper piecing using the dies that are in that bundle. So, and of course, that's our Happy Father's Day card. So let me kind of move these so you can see it. So in the meantime, I'm going to just finish kind of getting this stuff out of the way. And again, if you would like to be part of the drawing for one of the cards tonight, now the way it worked, this card 1, card 2, and card 3. Just add your name to that spreadsheet. That's the link to it is at the top of the chat box. And again, if you have any issues at all in accessing it, just say something in the comment box and someone will be more than happy to add your name on there. And yeah, and I think tomorrow these will go out in the mail. And again, you don't have to, if you live in another country, that's just fine. And if I haven't sent you a card before and I choose your name, I'll have you email me, and the email is in the description, your full name and address, and then I will then that way I can get your card out. Okay, hold on. Got things falling all over the place here. Oh, thank you, Rosie. All right. I hear Yvonne in the kitchen. I hear the water running. She's probably putting the salad together. She went in the cabinet, so I think that's what she was getting, was a bowl. So she's putting the salad together. We're going to do pizza. I got, what was it? There was a 3-pack of frozen pizza. It's a Supreme one, and I got it from Sam's Club. It was pretty good. Okay, so, all right, so if you're new here, I have a different way in which I end up doing this. I don't have that fancy software to where, you know, I can show like a split screen. So I literally have to kind of drag in my laptop into the screen itself, into the camera screen. So, all right. So all that's all tidied up. So let me just move these out of the way. And let me grab my little post-it notes, my names on it, and my pen. And let's see, what else do I need? I need to unplug this. And then let me bring the laptop in. And let me move these lights out of the way because they always glare into the screen. And let me take a peek here as far as names. So Right now we got Froggy, Terry, Becky, Deborah, Rosie. Yvonne, you want your name on this? I know she's got her little earbuds in, so she's not going to hear if I yell. Nah, okay. Um, is there anybody else? Carol, would you like to be added? Okay, Yvonne Stampin' Studio. I just thought I heard you cut something. You better not be like multitasking and cutting and typing on your cell phone at the same time, honey. We're not gonna call, the paramedics, even though, firefighters, paramedics, they're kind of all cute. So, okay. All right. So, okay. So we got Froggy, Terry, Becky, Deborah, and Rosie. Is Terry still with us? Tracy, do you want to be? Did I say Tracy's name? No, I didn't. Tracy, would you like to be added to the list? You can make that happen. Yeah, don't do that. Please don't do that. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Tracy, would you like to be added? I have the set. Okay. I think Terry fell asleep. That's possible. That woman, man, she works some long hours. Um, how about you, Sharon? Would you like to be added? I'm just kind of scrolling up in the comments here. Are you still with us, Sharon? Okay. Sharon could have stepped away. All right. So let me bring this in. Like I said, there's better ways to do this, but right now this is the only way I can do it. Like I said, I don't have that fancy software is pretty neat where you can go from one screen to another, but yeah, there's one that's really awesome, but it doesn't work with Android phones, only with iPhones. Let me just check here one more time. Okay, there's no more new comments on here. All right, so let me go ahead and spin. And again, if your name comes up, just let me know which card you would like, 1, 2, or 3. And Rosie, you're our first winner. Which card would you like? Number 2. Okay, Rosie, when you get it, if you could, I would say before tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be going to the post office. If you could send me an email with your mailing address, that way I can then add you to my spreadsheet. So if you join us again, then I already have the info and I can get the card out to you, okay? And again, the email, I do have it in the description of the video. Okay, so our next one. Froggy. Number 3. You got it. Oh, the email address, it's okay, so like if you look under the video, the video title where it says, okay, how many people are watching and how long ago. So down here where it says more, if you click on that, it's right, the email's right here. blues.city.stampin.studio@gmail.com. Okay, so now for our last card. It's Terry. You probably fell asleep. Yeah, she works more than one job, so I don't know how this woman gets by from day to day, because I'll tell you what, I would just end up falling over. Okie dokie, so congratulations to Terry, Froggy, and to Rosie. And let me go back now to the video and we'll kind of wrap things up. So sorry again for getting on here just a little bit late. See, that 12 minutes was probably how long I was before I got on. I don't know exactly what time I finally got on here to start the live. So if you like the projects that I have made tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. That does help me in not only growing this channel, but it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business as well. And click on the notification bell as well, because that will alert you and let you know when I post my pre-recorded, like my Throwback Thursday videos, which last night was I featured the or is it Bistro Burger bundle that is in the last chance list right now, and it's discounted. And then on the first of each month, I also do a monthly Christmas card inspiration. If you would like to, if you're one of them that likes to do your Christmas cards throughout the year. And also next week, I should be getting my paper pumpkin kit. So there'll be a video that comes out and I do like one of each of the projects that's in that kit. And that's the one that also bundles with it coordinates with that charming floral charming thing, or what, I can't remember the name. A new suite that right now demonstrators can pre-order it, and then it'll be available for everybody in July. So it'll let you know when those pre-records are posted. It'll also let you know when I go live as well. Now we are before the end of the month, unless something changes. We will have another special guest stamper with us on Saturday, June 28th. Andrea she'll be doing the sunrise sailing bundle. So she's going to do that. We're going to do that, I think, like 5 or 5:30. So that'll be posted as well. And oh, oh, is that what I ended up doing? Though that one sheet wonder. You know what? I'm going to have to really look at what stamps that there are. I mean, I got plenty. I mean, I got a lot of retired stamps. I mean, it would take a bit to figure out what else can be used with it. But you know what? I think that I need to do another one of those because those one she actually that one she wonder is what how you found me, and that really exploded my channel when I ended up doing that technique. Yeah, did it in July, and I remember somebody commented that she really liked it, but she didn't have the stamp set. And I did say that we did have another one that I ended up doing another with something that you could get. So I'll take a look at what we currently have right now. And of course, that holiday mini catalog, I think we'll get to see that in another, what, month or two, I think. I think it goes live in September, so in August, I think. So, oh, cool. Yeah, I'll take a look. So do you want to know about current stuff or think or something that's retired or it doesn't matter? But yeah, I'll see what I got, especially if there's something new that's current, and I'll do another one sheet wonder because it's been a while. Um, I also have a monthly newsletter that I put out usually the first Tuesday of each month. That's when Stampin' Up! Lets us know of the 2 or 3 new kits that they add to the kits collection, and I like to, include all that in the newsletter. My video, um, yeah, words are hard right now. The video schedule, that's the word I'm looking for. So everything that I'm using for Thursdays, what I do on Fridays, I have that listed. So you know upfront what I'm doing for the month. And also, anything that Stampin' Up! Has going on or I got going on, which I will mention if you are local to me here in Memphis on June 21st. That's a Saturday at 11:30 a.m. I will be having in-person get together. The projects for that, I'm going to be featuring a new suite of product actually that is going to be in the new holiday mini catalog that will be coming out. And last weekend, I actually kitted all the projects. I cut the cardstock, the paper, and all that. And actually, that's sitting over there and it's all ready to go. So, if you are interested in that, my email again is in that description of the email. If you don't see all the description underneath the title, you'll probably see the word more. Just click on that and it'll open it all up. And so I got that on my newsletter as well. So if you're interested in receiving that, there is a link for it in the description. When you click on it, all you do is just add your name and your email, and then I will send the newsletter out to you. And I typically only send it once a month. The only time I'll send it more is if Stampin' Up! Comes out with some kind of special or something that we didn't know about it at the beginning of the month. So, so with that, thank you everyone for joining me. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And if you're in an area where you're experiencing any storms and anything, please be safe. And I will see you next Friday. And again, if there's any severe weather at all, and I go to start early, I will add a post here on my YouTube channel to let you know if I'll be starting early. If you don't see anything, then it'll be my normal 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So thank you everyone for joining me, and you have a wonderful weekend and you have a blessed one. Bye bye.